identify reversal even before the reversal happened. You can actually spot a reversal even before it happened. So this on 3 hours time frame. I'm going to be using 3 hours time frame for example. Now look at this price action here. Price was actually very bullish, which excuse me. So price was very bullish, which we know very clear. Looking at from this point, we could see that this place here, price swept above this high. Price swept above this high, and immediately price closed above this high. What happened? Immediately, like with immediate after the first candle that closed above it, which was that small blue candle, immediately a massive engulfing red candle came below that same high. This same high I marked here, a massive engulfing came below, and immediately that massive engulfing came below. What happened? This point here, price broke this last low that was here. Broke this last low, which signifies to us that there might be a change in trend. That's the first thing. Identify. But when price sweeps this particular low, what I try to identify there is, okay, we actually know that all this range that we have here, all this range in this middle here, all this range in this area, all these range here, they're actually internal structures. And this down here we have from this area to this, we have FBG. Price actually tapped into FBG and immediately went up again. Now this time again, going up again is for the second time. I also try to understand, monitor price very well. What is price doing there? Now this was the last high price created here. This high here was the last high price created. And what happened if you try to draw a straight line down there? What do you see again? This is another sweep, another clear sweep. So price did it first time, created a massive engulfing and shoot down. Now it's coming the second time, did the same thing. What this is now signifying to me that this is not more a break of structure. This price trying to interpret that it's about to change direction. And not just that, if you look at this first point here, this area, when price sweep this area here, it didn't leave us with a very valid order block to enter with the trade. There's no valid order block. That's why I was not really concerned about this area here. But you see this area here, when price swept it, it left a very valid order block. That is one. Not just that order block, it also left us with a candlestick pattern that is very effective, which is the morning star. Actually, the evening star candlestick pattern. So evening star is for sale. So the evening star candlestick pattern. If I try to mark the evening star candlestick pattern, we have it from this low here. The last green candle that we printed. That's what we analyze. So this is my own blue. My own is blue in color. So the last blue color candle that printed, and the next candle that follow, which is an indication. So if you try to understand this candle that is here very well, this blue candle here that start as my order block is actually an indication candle, because you'll see that candle alone, from the highest week high to the lowest week low to the body, you see that it's all equal distribution of price. That is what a indication candle actually stands for. Equal distribution of price. Buyer didn't gain power, seller didn't gain power. Forget about the color. It's not about the color we used to mark a indication candlestick pattern. So it's about check the distribution of price. Who is actually in control? Nobody. Because if you check it, it's actually equal distribution. And that was the other block I drew out there. But actually, if I want to trade any candlestick pattern, either being an evening star candlestick pattern for a sell or a morning candlestick pattern for a buy, what I used to do is the last green candle that printed before the indication candle, I'll mark out that candle. I'll mark out the last low there on the body of the candlestick close. And that's where I will expect price to tap in back to for a sell. And if we try to check exactly what's happening here, that was exactly what happened here. Yeah. But actually, when I was analyzing this pair, I was not using my laptop. So sometimes when I'm using phone, I don't see the chart pattern very well. So that's one issue I have with analyzing with the phone. So I couldn't even see clearly that this was the start candlestick pattern. But I could see another block here. So I just marked that block. I'm waiting for a price tapping to. But yeah, price came back into this evening star candlestick pattern, which is where I should enter the trade. Once I enter here, my stop loss go here. So that was how I missed the entry on this one. And immediately was price tapped into that area, sell off with a very crazy red candle, rejection candle, sell to the downside. And after it sell to the downside again, it's created another candle. Now this is where I said a mid-range of candlestick patterns of a thing. Now, when it created another pattern again, now this does not really look very clearly like a like the evening star candlestick pattern, but I could also spot here that this particular candle that was here, this particular VIX candle, this particular green candle, this one that look like an additional candle, this candle, this one that look like an additional candle, this one that look like an additional candle, we have a candle closing above it. Now, this kind of additional candle, what I'm expecting is like a tap back into them before the push up buy. But here, it doesn't happen. But when the next candle was coming, it's closed inside of that candle. So which is where I'm expecting price to retrace to again for a buy. And you can see that yes, that same area, this for a sell like me, and it's that same area this price tap into. And immediately that green candle tap into it, which the blue candle that is there. See the next candle that follow again was very massive red candle again. Now this is 3 hours candle, and which is closing about 1 hour 7 minutes. But if you go to the 1 hour time frame or 2 hours time frame, so check out the last 2 hours. Actually, 2 hours will be completed already, or about 17 minutes. Look at the 2 hour candle. Look at what we have here. We have first 2 hours candle closing massively here to this area here. In this particular area, we have the first 2 hours closing here. Now the second 2 hour also clear off these lows and close going below it. So this is just justifying to me that the trend has already changed from a bullish move to a bearish move. Now the bearish may not be a long time move. The bearish may not be a very long time selling opportunity, but actually the trend has changed. And I actually talked about this from weekend and so everything. So where I'm actually targeting, which my target area is this, all these weeks that is gathering here, which I'm expecting price to clear off everything. So this on GBPJPY, so you can watch price out, price react around it, but I'm not seeing a buy move from this this selling setup again. If actually I want to looking for a buy opportunity, sometimes I read out the how price is approaching my POI. So if I'm expecting to take a buy from here, but with this movement of just about 2 candle coming from an high, clearing off many candlesticks, just coming from an high, tapping into that area, I will never take a buy from that zone, because price actually going to clear it off, because the momentum which sellers are using is much stronger than the buyer. Sometimes sometimes what we need sometimes is try to understand the candlesticks themselves. So if I'm looking for a buy, hope the pressure of the buyers is more than the sellers. So once I'm seeing that the pressure of the seller is more than the buyer, is more than the pressure of the seller is more than the buyers, then the buy is invalid. That's one. So if you now go to JPYX, which I actually tell you to go to JPYX, that's when you understand everything happening in JPY, just like the DSYX. So look at JPYX here. Last week I expected it sell from that place to this zone, which happened. And from that zone, I was observing what next JPYX is about to do. What next is JPY is about to do, and this zone here actually look like the Cosmo trading strategy. Yes. So, and if actually you want to trade a Cosmo trading strategy, so if actually understand Cosmo, you know what I'm talking about. So this from here, this first area here to this street below it, if price can come back here and reclaim it, then Cosmo trading strategy is confirmed. And ideally, if you're trading the Cosmo trading pattern, you're supposed to actually be below this guy. And you can see even when these guys set below it, they didn't get to that area and was closed back above it. We tested it again. Now printed another Cosmo trading pattern here again, which is the inner structure. We could see that we have the first one here. Price went up, swept below it again, now went up again, came back to that same area. So it's what price is doing in this area is it's always coming back to reclaim this area, telling their buyers are sitting on this area, buyers are interested in this area. But what they did first is this big move here, they took out people using pending orders, setting their support below here, took them out before they move. Here again, they came again, they pushed up, they know that okay, people will be expecting the other blocks here, like there's another block here. People put the pending order, put their support below here, and they came again, took them out again, and what shoot up again. It claimed that area, now they are moving up. So this is just very simple on the JPYX. It's just a very, very simple thing. That's so once I correlate JPYX, because JPYX is opposite of what you see on GBP, JPY, USDJPY, and the rest of them. So that's just why I said the JPY they are bearish. Yes, because if you even go to the USDJPY, which I mentioned earlier. Yes, so you will see the USDJPY. If I said I take the first trade, market gap to the upside, so that was a loss because this was from Friday. So when market opened on Monday, there was a gap to the upside, took a loss. But my actual zone, which I was even expecting to take this trade, I even recorded the video, so there's confirmation to these things I'm saying. I recorded the video on this particular. I said, "Is this zone I dropped here?" And when market shoot to the upside, it tapped on that zone. I just waited for it to close back to that zone again, and what I got in again, and this one is very, very close to TP. This actually is what of 128.1, so 128.2, but that's 128.2, so that one's very, very close, which I'm still even expecting more sell to the downside, because you can see last week this was a clear change of character here, which I stated earlier. You see that massive move that cleared off all those zones and what retraced to the OTE zone. And from that OTE zone, now it's selling again. So I'm expecting to sell more again to this my green bar that I have here. So that's just all I have for JPY and JPYX.